What's up, everybody? Nameco Dustin here for Fantasy Smack Talk. You probably heard it because nobody watches second base first. So you probably heard us talk about this, but we got Kickstarter. There's no way. If this is the first video you're watching, please let us know in the comments because nobody starts at second base.
Sure they do. This
is a long way to say. You've probably heard us say this before, but we're on Kickstarter. So if you go to Kickstarter, search Fantasy Football University, go to our homepage, fantasysmacktalk.com. We'll also have a link to it. Kickstarter, basically what it is you go on, it's a donations, and if you donate X amount of money, we give you some fun goodies, but it's really just to help us out. We're trying to get an app out there. There's a lot of costs that go along with it, so we're reaching out to you, our loyal and favorite, most awesome people in the world, to help us out. Check it out, and there's a really fun video on it, so at least you get to see us kind of doing some fun, stupid Smack Talk things that we do.
It's a 60-day campaign, starting basically now when we're shooting this video.
Alright, so talk about the second base.
Tier 1. There was definitely a debate in our rankings on who should be number 1. Personally, I got Kipnis just a tiny bit higher.
I got Cano.
It's 1A, 1B really as far as just kind of what you're looking for. Kipnis is going to give you a little bit more speed. Cano's going to give you a little bit more power. And obviously Cano's at his new home with Seattle, so we'll see if that impacts his numbers at all. But you can't go wrong with either of these guys.
Alright, Tier 2, I'm going to talk two oldies but goodies. The first one's Dustin Pedroia. And what can I say?
Name.
He had a magical season, it seemed like, last year. He seemed like he was always hurt, but he ended up producing. This guy's a gamer. I gotta love that about him. The other one's Ian Kinsler, and he's kind of intriguing this year. You know, he's always been up and down. You know you can get some power and some bags with him, and he's now there with Detroit, so if he's on one of his good year type of things with that bats that are around him, I really like him to produce some good numbers this year. Tier
3, still a decent amount of talent. One guy I want to talk about, Daniel Murphy. This is a guy I really like. 28 years old at this point. You know, he did have double-digit home runs, over 20 steals. You gotta like that. Decent batting average, but 38 doubles. You know, and at 28, there's still the chance of those doubles starting to turn a little bit more into home runs. He could even flirt being a 20-20 guy, and honestly, as far as value goes, I think he could be the best value at second base this year. And then the next guy I want to talk about is Jose Altuve. Been around for a couple years now, but he's still only 23 years old. I was a little bit surprised by that. With him, solid average, but very good chance he'll lead all second basemen in steals this year.
Alright, I picked all names to talk about, so the two names I'm talking about, the first one's going to be Chase Utley. And the reason behind it is Chase Utley, with all of his injury issues, sure, he's been falling down drafts, which is, you know, he should be because of the injury concerns. But when he's healthy, he's still been playing great. So if you're going to get Utley, maybe you want to pair him with somebody else with a little bit upside, and that brings me to my next guy. That's Profar. And he's out there with the Texas Rangers. You've all heard about him, all the hype, all the upside that he has. We didn't rank him too high. We've seen some other sites rank him ridiculously high, assuming this is 100% the breakout year. We don't necessarily buy that. It's not going to be a lock that it is. But when it does happen, this kid, he's only 20 years old, has all the talent in all the world, so he could have a lot of upside. Somehow you compare those two, we really like those as a second base platoon kind of thing.
Don't overpay.
He's probably going to get overdrafted.
Even a good year for Profar is still not going to be anywhere with these guys
Daniel
up here.
Murphy will do better than Profar this year.
Yes. And the last tier, first guy I want to talk about is Alex Guerrero for LA. He does not have the job locked up, so you're going to have to keep an eye out on that. And this is a guy that's coming over. Don't really know much about him. He has been in the minor league system. He's been in the Latino leagues. So you're just going to have to take a late round flyer and see what happens. But keep an eye on the the position battle, because if he ends up winning that job, he could have a little bit of value. And then Dan Uggla, you got to talk about him. 22 home runs, but he batted 179. I mean, it's pretty terrible, but he's going to still get the at-bats. He's crinkling up his paper.
That means I'm ready to anger.
That's our second baseman. Get on the Kickstarter if you want to help us out. Terrible. All of our other tiers and rankings and our cheat sheet, which will be up on the website. If you got any questions, post them in the forums. We haven't said that yet. Nameco over here.
You have not caught a pen all time, Joe.
Was that word?
In any of the shows this whole time. I missed